intro music fades out. Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're journeying to a place where myth and landscape are so intertwined, you can almost taste the magic in the air. We're heading to the rugged, breathtaking cliffs of Cornwall, along the western edge of Britain. Here, the land meets the roaring Atlantic, and the hills rise like sleeping beasts, ancient and full of secrets. For centuries, people here have whispered stories of giants, not just tall tales, but immense creatures, said to stride from cape to cape, their footprints carving out valleys, their bones hidden beneath the moors. When you stand on the storm-beaten headlands of Land's End, with the wind tearing across the granite, it's easy to believe something truly immense once moved here. From village to village, the legends change names, but the nature of these colossal beings remains the same. Cormoran of St Michael's Mount, Bolster of St Agnes, Blunderbore of Penwith. These giants, whose pride shaped the world and whose falls gave it meaning, left their mark everywhere. Every cliff, every tor, every standing stone seems to carry a memory the sea itself can't wash away. The legend of Cornish giants truly begins where myth and reality blur. Old songs speak of a time before humans, when these islands were ruled by titans, born of earth and storm. They hurled boulders as playthings, built causeways across the sea, and fought for dominion. When smaller folk arrived, the giants retreated to the high hills, half gods, half exiles. The Victorians called it folklore, but for the Celts, it was ancestry. Even today, you'll hear stories of farmers ploughing up stones, said to be giant teeth or knuckle bones. Take Carn Bray, for example, rising above Redruth like a sleeping colossus. At its summit stands a granite castle built on prehistoric foundations. Local miners once swore that at night they'd hear heavy footsteps echoing through the fog, as if the ancient owner of the rock still walked its crown. To them, the giant wasn't gone, just waiting. But of all the tales, none is older or more famous than Cormoran, the giant of St Michael's Mount. Long before pilgrims climbed its causeway, Cormoran was said to have built the island himself, hauling massive stones from the mainland. When he grew hungry, he'd wade ashore to steal cattle and, unfortunately, children. His wife, Cormelian, tired of his cruelty, plotted against him with the help of a clever farm boy named Jack. They lured him into a deep pit, and when the tide rose, Cormoran drowned. This is how the tale of Jack the Giant Killer was born, a legend that spread across England, but always began right here in Cornwall. Even now, visitors to St Michael A.S. Mount are shown a depression near the gatehouse locals called the Giant S Grave. Archaeologists might call it a quarry trench, but the villagers just smile and say, perhaps, but the trench came after the tale, not before. South of there, near St Agnes, another hill bears the name Bolster. The giant who lived there was so vast, he could stand with one foot on St Agnes Beacon and the other on Carn Bray. He was said to love a mortal woman, St Agnes herself, but his desire turned violent. She tricked him into filling a hole on the cliff with his own blood. When it overflowed, he fell, and the sea turned red. Each spring, the cliffs bloom with crimson campion flowers, and locals say it's Bolster's blood returning. Historians might point to pagan fertility rites, but under the pounding surf, this story feels older than any symbol. A warning whispered by the rocks themselves. Cornwall is simply littered with evidence that feeds such beliefs. Megalithic tombs, standing stones, and quoits. Huge capstones balanced on thin pillars. To early antiquarians, these were clearly the tables of giants, the Menantol. A hold stone near Morva was said to be the eye of a fallen titan turned to rock. Children were passed through the hole to cure illness, and mothers left offerings. Science calls it ritual healing from the Bronze Age. The locals call it gratitude to those who came before. In Cornwall, myth never argues with archaeology. It simply stands beside it, smiling. As Christianity spread, the giants often became demons to be slain by saints. Yet the churches built atop their hills still use the same stones, as if holy walls needed ancient strength. In St Just, a cross slab shows a man battling a monstrous figure. The caption lost, the meaning debated. Some say it's David and Goliath. Others whisper Jack and Cormoran. Either way, the giant endures, translated rather than erased. The 19th century brought spades and certainty. Miners digging near Bodmin Moor unearthed massive femurs they couldn't explain. Reports reached London of bones of extraordinary magnitude. Most were dismissed as ox or whale, yet a few vanished before experts arrived. In a museum cellar in Truro, a single tooth the size of a child's fist lies unlabelled, its records lost, its origin a mystery. Staff joke that it's the last remnant of Blunderbore, the giant said to have terrorised travellers on the moors. But the air in that room feels heavier than laughter. Modern geology tells a different tale, of Cornwall's peaks being the cause of ancient volcanoes. It's granite pushed up from the planet's heart. Yet even scientists concede that the terrain here breeds imagination. Fog erases scale, wind sculpts sound. Stand alone on Roche Rock as thunder rolls, and you might swear you hear voices in the storm, a language older than English, speaking through the cracks of stone. It is easy then to see how memory could grow tall enough to become myth. Still, there are curiosities that refuse tidy explanation. Local divers near Mounts Bay tell of monolithic shapes beneath the tide, aligned as if by hand, too regular to be random. Fishermen call it the Lost Lioness, the sunken land of giants drowned by pride. Every few decades, after fierce storms, the sea uncovers forests of petrified oak, stretching far offshore. Science says the trees date to the Ice Age. Folklore says they are the groves of the fallen. The truth, as always in Cornwall, depends on which story you choose to believe. Even today, the giants are never far from sight. Pub signs bear their names. Rock bands borrow their legends. Local schools stage plays of Jack the Giant Killer every summer. Tourists come for scenery and leave with questions. Why do so many megaliths align with sunrise, as if built by eyes taller than ours? Why do ancient mines lead to caverns vast enough to hide a cathedral? And why do night hikers sometimes report the ground trembling under calm skies? Rational minds blame shifting earth. The locals simply nod. Cornwall does not explain itself. It endures. In recent years, archaeologists have scanned the moors with LiDAR and thermal imaging, mapping buried stone circles and mounds previously unknown. One survey revealed a massive oval formation near Treen, its dimensions eerily matching the footprint, described in an 18th century folklore record as the sleeping place of the giant Denbras. Coincidence perhaps, but coincidences accumulate here, like mist. Even the place names whisper remembrance. Giant's Hedge, Giant's Quoit, Giant's Hill. Every map of Cornwall reads like a genealogy of myth. The line between legend and landscape grows thinner each century. So, with the giants of Cornwall real, history says no. The earth says perhaps. In the end, belief here is not about proof. It is about presence. The feeling that the land itself is alive and aware, that every cliff and stone keeps watch. Maybe the giants were never bodies but ideas. Embodiments of endurance in a place forever battling sea and sky. Or maybe, beneath the roots of ancient hills, their bones still lie curled around secrets we are not meant to find. Either way, when thunder rolls across Cornwall and lightning dances on the coast, the question returns, carried on the wind. Were they ever gone at all? What do you think? Do these legends capture a hidden truth? Or are they simply wonderful stories, carved by the wind and imagination? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this journey into Cornish myth, please hit that like button, share it with your friends, and subscribe for more adventures into the fascinating history and folklore of our world. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Outro music begins.